Hi students, good morning to one and all. Welcome to MANYATHA PU College. My name is MANYATHA. I am going to take a biology subject. So today we are going to discuss about first PUC biology. That includes 5 units and about 22 chapters. The prescribed hours 120 hours. Okay, so today we will start the first unit, that is diversity in the living world. The first unit is diversity in the living world. This unit consists of 4 chapters. That is, first chapter is the living world. Second chapter is biological classification. Third chapter is plant kingdom. Fourth chapter is animal kingdom. Okay, there are 4 chapters in this first unit. This unit of about 19 hours. The weightage for this unit 17 marks. That includes 1 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks and also 5 marks. Okay. So today we will start the first lesson, the living world. How wonderful is the living world? Because on this earth different types of animals, plants, birds are there. They are present in a different habitats, like deciduous forest, in a desert, in ocean, in freshwater bodies like pond, river, lake, even in cold mountains and also in hot springs. So different habitats, different types of animals are present. So here 2 questions arise in our mind. One is what is the living? Another one is what is the purpose of living, or what is the purpose of life? So in this chapter we are going to try what is the living. Okay, then what is living? So we can differentiate living from non-living based on some basic characters. So what are the characters of the living organism? That shows growth, reproduction, then metabolism, then consciousness, then cellular organization, in addition to this metabolism, and also self-replicating, then self-regulating, migration, then adaptation, movement. So these are different characters that was shown by the living organism, that is not shown by the non-living things. So okay, so study one by one. What is growth, then what is reproduction, metabolism, consciousness. So these are the characters are not expressed by non-living things. Okay, so first one is growth is nothing but what? It is a permanent, irreversible increase in the height or mass of an organism. So once the height is increased, they never become short. So increase in the height, increase in the mass. So in growth, the twin characters like increase in mass and increase in number of individuals. These are the twin characters of growth. So on the multicellular organism grow by cell division. That grows by cell division. When cell divides, that produces new cells. The new cells are added, the increase in the height, increase in the mass of an organism. So in a multicellular organism like plants, cell division continues in certain regions of the plant body. That is where the plant having a meristematic tissue, the tip of the stem, tip of the root. So that in plants, growth is continuous throughout the life, throughout the lifespan. That is why the growth in plants called indefinite growth. That means in plants growth is indefinite. Animals also grow, increase in the number of cells by cell division only, increase in the height, but the growth is stopped at certain age. Growth is ceased. So in animals, growth is called definite. Growth is definite in animals. So both plant and animals shows growth by cell division only. Similarly, unicellular organism also grow. Unicellular organism also grow by cell division. When cell divides, number of cells increase. So number of cells increase means number of individuals increased. For example, bacteria, for example, amoeba, paramecium, euglena. These are all the best example for unicellular organism. They divides. Number of cells increase. Increase the number of cell means here growth. Okay, that is what growth is a permanent, irreversible increase in the height, in mass, in number. So growth also sometimes shown by the non-living object also. For example, mountain. Increase in the height, grows on the mountain, the size increased. Even boulders, increase in the size. Even the sand molds, increase in the size. This is in non-living things. Growth is due to accumulation of substance or accumulation of material to the external surface. But growth, that is also a growth, increase in size. Increase in the mass as a criteria means the size of the rock increase, the mountain height increase. That also we consider as a growth. But in a living organism, growth is from inside. That is, growth is from external. So that even though growth is a characteristic of a living organism, it is not a defined character of an organism. That is about what? Growth. So next one is reproduction. Is another important character of a living organism. So you know that reproduction is nothing but an organism gives rise to new young one of its own kind. It is nothing but the production of their progeny that resembles their parents. So reproduction of two types. One is asexual reproduction and also sexual reproduction. Organism reproduce by either sexually or asexually. In asexual reproduction, that is found in lower organisms like algae, fungi, even in bryophytes, even in bacteria. So there are different types of asexual reproduction. For example, in fungi and also in algae, they produce asexual spores like zoospores, like conidia, apelnospores. These are different types of spores produced by algae and fungi. These spores once again develop into new individual. In fragmentation, another method of asexual reproduction. Fragmentation, even the planaria also shows fragmentation. Each fragment once again regenerate into new individual. Even in moss, that shows a fragmentation. Fungi also shows fragmentation. Budding, another method of asexual reproduction. Best example, yeast, budding. In hydra also shows budding. So different methods are there asexual reproduction to increase their number, to produce the progeny. At the same time, the higher plants and higher animals reproduce by sexual method. Sexual method of reproduction, where the formation of gametes, like male gamete, that is sperm, and female gamete, egg, these two gametes are fused to form zygote. That zygote develop into new individual. So reproduction is one of the important character, but some exceptions are there. What is that exception? Some animals like mule is sterile, not able to reproduce. Similarly, worker bee, it not reproduce. Some couples, human beings, some couples, human couples are not able to reproduce, even though they are living organism. In unicellular organism, reproduction by cell division. Cell division itself is reproduction in unicellular organism. But in growth, increase the number by cell division. So increase the number by cell division is nothing but growth, but here we consider increase the number is nothing but asexual reproduction. So that we are not sure about growth and reproduction, hence reproduction is also not well defining property of living organism. Is it clear? Then another character, that is metabolism. So you know that all the living organism is made up of chemicals, different types of chemicals, whether it is small or bigger one, of various classes or different function. These chemicals regularly made and changed into biomolecules. This change in this chemical, because of chemical reaction, that chemical reaction is nothing but what? A metabolism or metabolic reaction. So metabolism is nothing but what? It is nothing but sum total of all chemical reactions, sum total of all chemical reaction that takes place in living organism or living cell or in body is called metabolism. So in the metabolism or the chemical reaction, some chemicals are synthesized, some complex food molecules are prepared, or sometimes these complex food molecules undergo breakdown. So there are two types of a metabolic process. One is anabolism, another one is catabolism. So both are comes under metabolism or metabolic activity, that is anabolic process or catabolic process. In anabolic process, what happens? The food molecule is synthesized, food is constructed. This is called constructive process. It is a constructive process where by using a simple inorganic substance the food is prepared. The best example is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a constructive process. So why? Because here food is constructed, food is prepared by using a simple raw material, say carbon dioxide, water, in the presence of sunlight. With the help of chlorophyll, the plant prepare the food. In the plant, food is constructed. That is called what? Anabolism, anabolic process. At the same time, respiration is an example for catabolic process where inside the cell that glucose undergo breakdown and release carbon dioxide and water and releasing of energy, where here the food is destroyed. Destructive process. Catabolism is a destructive process where food molecules break down, where complex food molecules break down. That is called what? Catabolism. Anabolism, constructive process. Catabolism, destructive process. So both are that include in metabolism. So these type of metabolic activity is not shown by non-living things. So that metabolism is a well-defining property of living organism. Is it clear? Okay. Then another important character of living organism is respond to external stimuli. That is what is called consciousness. Respond to external stimuli. All the living organisms respond to external stimuli. Like the external stimuli may be physical or chemical or biological. So only the living organisms respond to external stimuli. Even plants also respond. Plants also respond to external factors, external climatic factors or environmental factors like light, temperature and water. All the living organisms respond to external stimuli, from a prokaryote to a highly advanced eukaryotic organism. Prokaryotes to eukaryotes respond to external stimuli. So the only the human being aware of himself, self-consciousness, so that the consciousness or respond to external stimuli is also one of the well-defining character of living organism. Metabolism is one defining property, and consciousness is another defining property of living organism. Is it clear? Next, one more important character is that is cellular organization. Cellular organization is another important character of a living organism or living things. This type of organization is not found in non-living things. So you know that from high school itself, cell is a structural and functional unit of living organism. In a single cell organism or unicellular organism, single cell itself an organism. All the physiological activities, all the metabolic activities are shown by a single cell. Digestion or excretion, there is osmoregulation, even a response to external stimuli. All these characters that is shown by single cell in unicellular organism. But in a multicellular organism, there is a coordination between the cells, interaction among the cells. This group of cells together form tissue. Tissue is nothing but what? A group of cells that perform a definite function in plants and also in animals. For example, in plants, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue, muscular tissue. Similarly, in plants, there are different type of tissues like meristemate tissue and permanent tissue. Under that, once again, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So you know that a parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem and phloem. So there are different tissues are present in a plant body also, like animals. These different tissues together form organ. That is called what? Cellular organization. So different organs are formed. That is integration of these tissues. These organs, different organs together form organ system. These different organ system together form an organism. A living organism. This type of organization is not found in non-living things. One more thing is, one must know the properties of tissue is not present in the cellular constituent, but definitely there is an interaction between the cells to form a tissue. Similarly, in the cell there are different cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi complex, ribosome, nucleus. These organelles having that is present in a cell, that the characters of these organelles not found in the molecular constituent of the cell organelle. But definitely because of interaction of these molecular components, that result in the formation of a different cell organelles in a cell. So that in a living organism there is an interaction. As a result, the formation of different grades, that is from cell to tissue, then tissue to the form organ, that forms organ system, that forms a complete organism. So this is also one of the very important defining character of living organism. Is it clear? Okay. Then we define what is living based on these characters. So living is nothing but self-replicating, then evolving, then self-regulating, interacting system, able to respond to external stimuli is called living. Is it clear? So living means, now we define self-replicating, evolving, self-regulating, interacting system that are able to respond to external stimuli is called living. Is it clear? Well, this is about what is living and what is the characters of a living organism. Okay, students, I hope you can understand that living and the characters of living organism, that is a growth and reproduction, consciousness, metabolism, and which are the well defining characters of living organism, so which are not well defining characters of living organism, and the definition of living. Okay, so tomorrow I will continue in the next class. Okay, bye.